Hello everyone, I am Minidroit, and I went to my first arcade in about 10 years. Now, I've always been interested in arcades. It's literally a room filled with video games and prizes. Who would hate that? The main reason why I haven't been to an arcade in a few years is 1, arcades are expensive and I don't have a ton of income, and 2, arcades are fun alone. So, to scratch my arcade itch, I play at Cornerstone Arcade. Now, what is Cornerstone Arcade? Well, it's a virtual arcade hosted on Roblox by Second Lugia, and it creates many machines with accurate physics. It's really impressive. I've had a ton of fun playing machines and exploring the building. Over winter break, my cousins and I went to Round 1, a national arcade chain integrated into Danbury Mall. And that got me thinking, would I have more fun on Cornerstone Arcade or a real life arcade? So that's what this video is about. It's not a direct comparison between the two, but more so a comparison between the pros and cons. So, let's get into the arcades. First of all, before we get into the arcades, I need to mention that the last time I went to an arcade was 7 years ago. So if my playing seems rusty, it is. Also, I managed to get some footage of kids filming a TikTok in public. That's never happened to me before. Alright, let's get the biggest difference out of the way. Immersion. It's no contest. A physical arcade will always be more immersive than a virtual arcade. Nothing beats the analog click of a button or the tactile feedback of a drum. Sure, you can approximate the experience online from a mechanical keyboard or... I don't know how you fake drums. But it's not the same. Also, there's zero latency in real life because that's impossible. You can't lag in real life. So, physical arcades obviously win in immersion. But that's not the only category I'll judge them in. And I'd argue it's not the most important part of the arcade experience. Let's talk about convenience. Cornerstone Arcade is a clear winner. Just getting to Round 1 was a hassle. I had to walk through a 113,900 square meter mall just to enter the arcade, and I had to buy an arcade card. All I have to do to play Cornerstone Arcade is to turn on my computer, and the machines are free. Sure, some of the machines are locked behind levels and group membership, but I've had enough fun playing at Cornerstone Arcade that I've naturally leveled up to access these machines. I've just enjoyed Cornerstone Arcade that much. As for convenience, Cornerstone Arcade benefits from being a virtual arcade. I find it hard to justify going out to real arcades when you have a similar experience in your bedroom with your friends. So, let's talk about the main attractions. The machines. Round 1 definitely had more variety of their machines. They had shooters, rhythm games, gambling, but, and I'm definitely strange for this, I really didn't like most of the machines at Round 1. Let's rate all the ones I played. Air hockey is always great and it's easily one of the best attractions at any arcade. There's just something so engaging and personal about it. You stare your opponent down, watching their every move as they desk to try defending, and I just self-gold. Damn. Air hockey is always amazing. 10 out of 10 game. They played some arcade basketball, and arcade basketball is always mid. It's just kind of boring? I don't know. Made for basketball players, it's sort of engaging, but the interesting part of basketball is manipulating the ball and avoiding others. I will say though, this machine's much better than the Cornerstone version of it, but that's just a limitation of virtual arcades. I'll give arcade basketball a 6 out of 10 or something. It just wasn't that great. And then I played this racing skee ball type game. The footage I took of it wasn't good, and I didn't have fun playing it anyway. What a weird combination. Racing and skee ball? Who would want to do that? Oh, and how can I forget this game? VR racetrack driving. Yeah, let me summarize my thoughts on this machine in 2 words. Motion sickness. This was my first time actually using VR. I got horribly disoriented during my drive. I don't understand the appeal of this machine either. So you're telling me I drove from home, walked to the arcade, just to virtually drive on a racetrack where I can do tricks? I get an experience for the I-95. The massive headache I got after playing this machine makes it a 10 out of 10 for me. It's just not my type of game. I've never been into racing games, honestly. And then the classic skee ball. I love skee ball. When I'm good at it. I actually used to grind Cornerstone Arcade skee ball machine trying to get the highest score possible. You see, Cornerstone Arcade skee ball is really fun. It's a nice balance between precision and haste. I wasn't good at real life skee ball, but I still love it. It really is a unique type of game. It's like cornhole meets bowling, except even better than those two. Skee ball is a solid 8 out of 10 for me, though I do prefer the virtual version because I like winning. Whack-a-mole's stupid. 5 out of 10. Quick Drop also sucks, but the real life version is much better than the one on Cornerstone. In Cornerstone, you get input latency and unfair gameplay. We also played this 4-player Ninja Turtles brawler that was mid. I don't know. I'm just not into side-scrolling brawlers like this. I wasn't compelled by its gameplay, and I'm not a big enough Ninja Turtles nerd to play more than 5 minutes of it. Like 4 out of 10 or something. And now we're at this one. The Gitatora drum set. Let me say this outright. I hate Rhythm games. I don't like most well-charted rhythm game songs, and I don't understand their appeal. Do rhythm gamers pay for the music, or do they all have Stockholm Syndrome? I've never been into rhythm games, and I'll continue to hate on them. Anyway, back to Gitatora. My cousin and I spent a solid 2 minutes trying to figure out how to choose a song, and ended up picking a chart that was too easy for me. The controls on the Gitatora were not intuitive. There was a control pad right next to the machine, but the console did not help us choose a song at all. You'd expect it to function like a D-pad, right? With the bright red button in the middle being your enter key? Yeah, no. The middle button opened the settings menu, and the adjacent buttons didn't help me. I had to use the drums to control the machine. And nowhere on screen was it told which drum does what. Do you know how stupid it is to control a menu with drums? There's no up, down, left, right on the drums. Why can't I enter the charts with the side console? I can't judge the charts too much because I chose the easy chart, and I don't play rhythm games, but my experience using the Gitatora was horrible. A 0 out of 10 experience. And then my camera died. Whoops. I'll just summarize how my visit to the arcade ended. My cousins and I decided to play through Halo Fireteam Raven's entire campaign in one sitting, using up all of our arcade credit. Do you know how nauseating that is? Even worse because I don't like arcade shooters. I like FPS games, but arcade shooters make no sense to me. All you're doing is pointing your gun at the enemy and waiting to move. 90% of the fun I had in shooters is running around and avoiding enemies. Want to know why I use the flintlock and open fire? Because of the freedom it gives me and its insane mobility. So taking away the player's control over their movement really hampers the experience. You're basically playing OC but with a way less precise cursor. As for Halo Fireteam Raven, no. I am not enough of a Halo nerd to be invested in the story, and a horrible arcade shooter gameplay really bored me by the end of it. This cabinet was like a 4 out of 10 experience for me. So overall, while Cornerstone Arcade has less variety and weaker immersion than a physical arcade, the convenience and fun I've had on it scratches my arcade itch, and I prefer Cornerstone Arcade over brick and mortar ones. With the type of games I enjoy, Cornerstone Arcade has all I need. However, and call me crazy, what if there's a platform that combined the ease of Roblox with the immersion of a real arcade? Yeah, we're going to VR chat. Now, one caveat, I don't own a VR headset. And no, I'm not spending $150 just to buy one for this video. I enjoy the desktop version of VR chat anyway, so it doesn't matter much to me. Without the headset, I can't really talk about the immersion of these games, but I won't be judging VR chat's arcades based on their immersion because they don't have the proper equipment. Anyway, let's check out some VR chat arcades. Let's see. Ooh, the Valve Dent arcade. Before we get to the machines, can I just say that I love this world's aesthetic? The first things you see are really complex mazes that I totally get lost in, and a trampoline park. I actually had a ton of fun bouncing around the map because I love free movement in video games. Also, there are targets around the map that you can launch yourself into for fun. Anyway, let's check out some of the machines. The first machine I played was a Flappy Bird remake, which was equally as frustrating as the original. Or maybe even worse, because some of the Flappy Bird levels had horrible skins. I can't imagine playing Flappy Bird like this for more than an hour. The next machine I played was Stacker. Yeah, no. Stacker's boring. Like, really boring. And a version of Pop the Lock is... yeah. Let's skip it. The final machine in the Valve Dance arcade is actually a recreation of Tetris, and it's amazing. Though the controls were a little strange at first, it's still Tetris, and Tetris is almost impossible to get wrong. I had a ton of fun playing this version of Tetris, though it's definitely limited when compared to something like Tetri.io. I can pull off a T-spin on a Tetris machine, but I can rarely pull off T-spins in Tetri.io, so... Overall, I enjoyed my time at Valve Dance Arcade. It had a limited number of machines, but it had nice vibes. Oh yeah, there's also a bomb diffuser game, but it didn't work on PC, so... Mario's Arcade. Mario's Arcade is much smarter than a Valve Dance Arcade, but it manages to pack in more machines. Oh, FDR would be so proud of you. The first attraction I came across was a basketball machine that didn't work on PC. Damn it! Mario's Quest, huh? Let's see how it controls. Mario's match is controlled by these 4 buttons, but to control your character you have to constantly move your camera up and down, and it's painful. Why can't I just use the arrow keys to control my character in this machine? Gameplay wise, it reminds me of Brogue or Lunar Lich. Each step you take is one turn in game, and you have to get through as many rooms as you can before you die. Letters also pop up sometimes when you enter a room, but the text is so small that I stopped caring about the 3rd letter. Real Lizard Action is... lame. It's basically just Google's down and run but controls worse because it's forced into arcade form factor. Sub is literally just Snake. Nothing more, nothing less. It was boring to play. Face Invaders is actually a really cool recreation of Guess What? This was the only machine in Mario's Arcade that played well because I had to control my character with my keyboard. There's not much to say about it because it's literally just Space Invaders, but I'm glad this is the one PC-friendly machine in this place. Well, there's also Flappy Bird, but I really don't want to talk about Flappy Bird again. Granted, given how decimated the brains of VR chat players have become, I'm not surprised that Flatboard is prime entertainment for VR arcade goers. Anyway, let's go to the next arcade. Nope, that's someone's house. The last VR arcade we'll check out is Alice D's Pixel Paradise. They spawned me outside in the rain, which is fine. I'm not soaking wet or anything. Let's just check out the machines. Ooh, this one looks interesting. Wait, why can't I control it? What about this DDR machine? Mortal Kombat? Space Invaders? Why aren't these machines working? Well, it turns out most of these cabinets are here just for aesthetic reasons. And the only two machines can actually play are a recreation of a Suka game and a terrible side-scroller. Great! Now, Suka game does control pretty well, but having two working cabinets in this arcade is a disgrace. Well, that's my foray into virtual arcades. Overall, I actually enjoy virtual arcades more than physical arcades. The convenience of virtual arcades massively outweighs the immersion of real-life arcades. Virtual arcades are just easier to access and just as fun with others. And they're all free. If I want to have fun while going out, I'll just go to the Guitar Center or something since the instruments are free there too. And since I don't like arcade-style games, physical arcades just aren't for me. Now, when it comes to Coruscant Arcade versus VR chat arcades, Coruscant Arcade easily takes the cake. All the machines at Coruscant Arcade are functional, and not being restricted to first person makes the experience way better. I am glad that I got to go to round 1 though with my cousins. It was a highlight of our 2024 Christmas trip. That, and failing to make gingerbread houses. That was embarrassing. That's all I have to say. Goodbye all.